Hello everyone, myself Bushra Fatma, Assistant Professor, School of Architecture at Galgotias University. Today we will start our new topic, that is research methodology, which is come under your Agora module. So the objectives of this lecture is to aware from research process and to understand the 8 steps model steps in planning a research study. So the first question which is arises in your mind, that is, what is research? Research is a creative and systematic work undertaking to increase the stock of knowledge. It involves the collection, organization, analysis of information to increase the understanding of topic or issue. You can take any topic or any issue related to your field, related to your area. A research project may be an expansion on past work in the field. If someone has done some work, so you can expand on past work in that field. Research project can be used to develop further knowledge on a topic or further education also. To test the validity of instruments, procedures, or experiments. Research may replicate elements of prior projects or the project as a whole. So basically there is a research process in which include 8-step model in planning a research study. As you see, identifying the problem, reviewing literature, setting research question objective and hypothesis, choosing the design and deciding on the sample design, collecting the data, processing and analyzing the data, and writing the report. So the 8-step model are also right here: formulating a research problem, conceptualization, constructing, selecting a sample, writing a research process, collecting data, processing data, and writing a research report. We further discuss what are the steps taken under these all steps. So step 1 is formulating a research problem. Formulating your research problem enables you to make a purpose of your study clear to yourself and target readers. Focus your paper or report on providing relevant data to address it. A problem statement is an effective and essential tool to keep you on track with research and evaluate it. So first of all, clarity and focus should be very important in your research proposal. Second one is improve your methodology, broaden your knowledge, contextualize your findings, procedure for reviewing the literature, search of existing literature. For this, you have to write your keywords of your research proposal, then search all the papers, all the literature related to that keywords. After that searching, collect all the existing literature and review the existing literature. After the reviewing, develop a theoretical framework, develop a conceptual framework. So these are the formulating a research problem in which we have to clear and focus in your research proposal, make a methodology, contextualize your findings, and review the literature and develop a framework. Step 2 is conceptualizing a research problem. So, conceptualization is the process of not only selecting a topic but formulating a defensible and researchable research problem. It is more than simply generating a list of interesting topics such as academic achievement gaps or homelessness and etc. So, the research design, what is the definition of research design? Research design refers to overall strategy utilized to carry out research that define a logical plan to tackle established research question through the collection and interpretation, analysis, and discussion of the data. The function or the purpose of research design is to provide a plan of study that permit accurate assessment of cause and effect relationship between independent and dependent variables. The classic control experiment is an ideal example of good research design. So basically there is 4 purpose of research that includes exploration, description, explanation, and application. One purpose of research is for exploration, in order to know more about a topic that provides little information in a general. So This is the research design. Selecting a research design is a cross-sectional study design, the before and after study design, the retrospective design. So the retrospective study design allows the investigator to formulate hypotheses. So what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is a statement which you follow. Either it is true or either it is wrong. So when you complete your report, complete your research, either hypothesis should be true or it should be false. When it false, it is called null hypothesis. So a retrospective design allows the investigator to formulate hypotheses about possible association between an outcome and exposure and to further investigate the potential relationship. However, a casual statement on this association usually should not be made from a retrospective study. The second one is experimental design and prospective design. So the prospective design study refers to a study design in which the documentation of the presence or absence of exposure of interest is documented at a time period preceding the onset of the condition being studied. Okay, such design are often called cohort studies. And the other one is the action research, the comparative and studies. Comparative research, we have to compare, and in case study we have to some case study. So this is the conceptualizing our research problem. That is conceptualization, observation, definition, and indicator selection, and operationalization. So in this we have discussed what is research design, functions, and select the study design. Step 3 is constructing an instrument for data collection. So the instrument you choose to collect the data will depend on the type of data you plan or collecting, that is a qualitative or quantitative, and how you plan to collect it. A number of common data collecting instruments are used in construction research, questionnaire, interviews, and all. As you see in this data collection tools, there is interviews, observations, survey, usage data, focus group, and all. So when we talk about the data collection, there is various methods of data collection. Collecting data from primary sources, from secondary sources, from the observations. There is various type of observations, problems with using observations as method of data collections, situations in which observation can be made, interviewed, unstructured interviewed. Let me take one example of your project urban design. When you do an urban design project, let's suppose a urban design of a market area, you have to redevelop a market area project. So when you have decided to redevelop that area, you know what is the issue, what are the issue in that area. So you collect data by which you identify what are the issues in that area, what are the problems in that area. For this you have to take interviews, that is structured interview and unstructured interview. Structured interview is the form of interview in which you have to prepare a proper questionnaire. Then you have to go to the market, and that interview is taken by you, by the stakeholders. What are the stakeholders? Stakeholders are the person who use that marketplace, who use that area which you have to redevelop, that is vendors, shopkeepers, and users. So these are the stakeholders of that market area, these are the users of that market area. So you have to prepare a questionnaire and take interview for your observation, for to finding out that issue of that area. These are the structured interview. And unstructured interview is that interview in which no question is prepared, random discussion between two people. You have to go to market and discussion with the people, that is unstructured interview. After that you compile in a report form, not in questionnaire form, in a report form, that is unstructured interview. So data collection is very important to identify the issue, identify the problem. So in example of urban area, you take interview for finding out that problem. So step 3 is constructing an instrument for data collection. So there is forms of question. There is advantages of open-ended question, advantages and disadvantages of close-ended questions, asking of personal and sensitive questions, what are the orders of questions, collecting data using secondary sources, and problems with using data from secondary sources. So collecting data, use attitudinal scale. Attitudinal scale measure the intensity of respondents' attitude towards the various aspects of a situation or issue and provide technique to combine the attitude towards different aspects into an overall indicator. So the summative rating or Likert scale, the equal appearing interval, and the cumulative or Goodman scale. So in constructing an instrument for data collection, you have to construct decide the types of question, order of question, and the advantages and disadvantages of that type of questions. Step 4 is selecting a sample. Sampling. Sampling is a process used in statistical analysis in which predetermined number of observations are taken from a larger population. The methodology used to sample from larger population depend on the type of analysis being performed, but it may include simple random sampling or systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and all. These are the cluster sampling. These are the types of sampling. So in a selecting of sample, there is a sampling, the concept of sampling, sampling in qualitative and quantitative research. What are the types like cluster, systematic and stratified, random and probability sampling design, non-random, mixed sampling, the calculation of sampling design. As you see, sampling definition, their methodology, examples, calculation, and what is the online sample. So selecting a sample is a step 4. So step 5 is writing a research proposal. Research proposal is a concise, coherent, and compact summary of your proposed research. It gives a brief outline, the general area of study within which your research falls. The goal of research proposal is to present and justify the need to study a research problem and to represent the practical ways in which the proposed study should be conducted. Here are some points to understand about the research proposal. Research refers to a search of knowledge. Research means a scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on a specific topic. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. The purpose of research is to discover answers to questions throughout the application of scientific procedures. So, for the writing of research proposal, there is a various step. Research proposal, content of research proposal, introduction. In introduction, you have to write a one paragraph of your topic. What is the problem? What is the aim? What is the objective of your study? uh, Write 3 or 4 objectives of your research proposal, which will start to understand, to create, to analyze with these words. Hypothesis to be tested. As I said before, what is hypothesis? It is a general statement which you have to prove right or wrong. If it will wrong, that is called null hypothesis. Study design, setting, measurement procedure, ethical issues, sampling, analysis, structure, problems, appendix and limitations, work schedule. Limitations, if you choose a vast topic, how you limit yourself, what are your limitations of your topic. So writing a research proposal includes these all the steps. Step 6 is collecting data. Essentially, there are 4 choices for data collection: in-person interviews, mail, phones, and online. There are pros and cons to each of these modes. Like cons are for online, not all of your customer might have an email address on the internet. Customer may be very of divulging information online and all. So in collecting data, considering Ethical issues in data collection, ethics, stakeholders in research. As I said it before, there is, when we take example of urban design project, redevelopment of that market area, stakeholders in research, research participants, information collecting, the seeking consent, providing incentives, seeking sensitive information, the possibilities of causing harm to participants, maintaining confidently, ethical issues relating to the researchers, avoiding bias, using inappropriate methodology, as I said before, incorrect reporting, inappropriate use of information, and the misuse of information. In step 7, there is processing data. After the collecting, there is a processing data, edited the data collected through structured interview, through unstructured interview, all the collection and edited, coding the data, decoding, verifying it is authentic or not, cross tabulation, and these are the things are under processing data. After that editing, there is a displaying data. These all the collection data after the processing, it display in the form of graph, histograms, bar chart, stack bar chart, frequency polygon, stem and leaf display, pie chart, slide diagram, and area chart and stadigram. As I say, discussed before, when we take a redevelopment of marketplace, we collect and interview from various stakeholders like vendors, shopkeepers, and users. We have take structured interview to find out the issue. After that interview, we collect the data, and after that collecting, the editing the data which we collect through questionnaire. After that, we display into the form of graph, how many people said this, how many people said this. After that, we compare each and every graph and find out the problems, how many people say that problems occur in that area, how many problems, how many people say there is a parking problem, how many people say there is a lack of shops, how many people say that is lack of this. So these are the by evaluate by the use of graphs, bar chart, histogram, pie chart, and all. In step 8, finally, we will write a research report, write research in journal, referencing, bibliography, developing an outline, writing about variables, research methodology, ethics, and all. So, referencing is very important, and bibliography is very important. Referencing means your work is not plagiarized, you don't copy the other works. So, when you take some definitions or other things from other documents, someone's document, please referencing them. So after this, you will write a research proposals, research report, and we have to cover in this next lecture what, how to write a report writing, what is report writing, what are the steps, what are the general format of report writing, we discuss in next lecture. And also we discuss in next lecture what are the how to write a referencing, APA form, Harvard form, what are the different forms of write referencing in. But in this lecture we have to cover what are the 8 steps model to research methodology, how to write, how to start a research, how to start a research proposal. So in a writing a research report we have to cover these things and all. These are the some references of this lecture. So this is your assignment question. You have to submit before the deadline. Write a research proposal or any one of your interested topic in which you have to cover introduction, aims, objective, hypothesis, methodology, and all. If you have some limitation, then mention that limitation. And what are the different methods of data collection? What is research? Describe in your words. So these 3 questions are submitted before your deadline. Okay, thank you.